My name is Len Puckerin, and you're watching The Griot in Me. My name is Len Puckerin, born in Trinidad and Tobago, migrated to Chicago in 1970 and then to Ottawa in 1977. Started off as a DJ around 1978-1979, of which I propelled listening to Junior Smith and CKCU and joined that CKCU crew in like 1982. 5 years later, I went off to CHUO 89.1 FM, and I've worked with both community radio stations for at least 30 years. In the meantime, being a DJ around the city of Ottawa and Hull, we started music in Confederation Park 1983, and we also blossomed into the nightclub arena 1985 in Hull, Quebec. The club was called Club 747, and it's lasted until 1991. I went back to school at Algonquin College, where I graduated in precision sheet metal layout and design, and kept the music industry going through my era of living here in Ottawa. Last year, 2019, Luke and myself joined together in creating the first year of the BIA, which also celebrated the Club 747 reunion dance party, which was held on a yearly basis since Club 747 closed, which was in Hull, Quebec, 1991. The city was slow, and it was hard for me to understand how I was going to make here my home. But eventually I realized, getting into the community of our Caribbean and African people, that there was something to do or something to get started. And by people looking for a place to be entertained, I decided it was necessary that we come together and do so under things that I was able to give back to the community. It was important because when nationals came here for the first time, the establishment in Ottawa wasn't comfortable in accepting us Caribbean, or let's say black people as a whole. So it was necessary for me to say, if they don't accept us, let us create our own. There were a number of clubs within the Ottawa Hull area that didn't accept us or allow us to partake in the entertainment. So I found it necessary for us to create our own clubbing atmosphere. And I reached out to the younger people who at that time were involved in breakdancing and rapping and graffiti painting. And the first avenue for that was Confederation Park on Laurier and Elgin Street. So most of the youth who were going to numerous schools within the Ottawa Hull area knew about the street dances every year that was advertised. Well, the young people at the time couldn't go to the club because in Ottawa the age was 19 and in Quebec the age was 18. So it was necessary to start with the youth so that you can have a longer progression. If you started with the older people, it means it would only last for so long. The club has not had a staying capability within our new era of competition from the internet, Netflix, and a whole host of other things now that the nightclub industry is competing with. I started playing music in Chicago, so when I came to Ottawa, I brought everything with me: music, sound system. And by having that type of music that the youth was now listening to, I was able to actually gave them music to listen to by entering CKCU, where I had a show called On the Beat. We had music from Junior Smith, who was Reggae in the Fields on Saturdays, as well as Delorious Kane, who had a show called The Groove every Saturday. And the radio station was that nightclub you would listen to on a Saturday. And then when I opened the club 747, that was a venue like the radio station you were listening to on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. So you had your playground to listen to your style of music. Well, in Ottawa, people were traveling throughout the Caribbean and European countries, drew going to vacation. And by me introducing the music in Confederation Park every Sunday of the summer, gave me that chance for people to hear the music and ask, where can we hear it? So by having it free for quite a number of years, you were able to create a following where people understood this is the style of music they were ready to listen to. Whether it was Kool and the Gang, whether it was Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, that was the type of music that was played within my era. Music has changed drastically. Within the 70s, you had more music coming out of different beats. So you could identify different artists by their trademark or style of music. Take, for instance, a guy that I consider was 25 years too soon, Sly Stone, who created songs like, oh gosh, I'm even forgetting some of his songs now. Sly Stone was an imaginative individual who brought the soul and funk. He had other groups like Kool and the Gang, a whole number of artists through the years. I would think every 5 or 10 years the music would change. We went into the breakdance era. We went into the swing jack era. Then on the sides we had reggae, we had calypso and Haitian music. But I found I had more of a following for the R&B, soul, dance, disco music. As time goes on, changes are made in the electronic, artistic, every atmosphere. So we had vinyl, we had CDs, we had tape decks. Now we have the computer, where it's readily available you to go on YouTube and look at anything that is new. So you can look at how we have to accept changes and we have to accept modernization. It's inevitable. Well, I haven't really paid much attention to the streaming situation, but I think the vinyl and CD has been very compelling because you are always able to have it in your home and always ready to be able to take a piece of vinyl and put it on to listen to it at your own time. Take, for instance, like Bob Marley. I have been into many people's home, whites, all other nationalities, and I am sure I can find a Bob Marley record in anybody's collection as opposed to any music of today. Well, what I liked about myself is that I've always thought that if people don't want you in their place, why don't you do something to be comfortable with how you can bring people together? It is like saying, okay, let's go to Studio 54, and when we get there, they don't want us. Well, why do you still want to keep going to a place that you're not wanted? Create your own so that you can feel comfortable that your people liking the kind of music you are putting out, will feel comfortable in that environment. I think positive, and if you can't do it or will not do it, I will. What I would like to give the next generation is try and come together, because we are better together. Once we start moving away from each other, too many pockets are created and we cannot find a unified front of moving in one direction. Oh gosh, the only thing I would like to change about the city is that people who are coming up can sit down and look what is necessary to get us finally thinking together, collaborating together. Look at what you all are doing at the Griot. How many people are doing other things and refusing to understand where you all are going? If they would only join you and create a larger force, we can be better. Well, I saw the necessity when I joined the group 2 years ago. Although there has been a lot of little in fighting and not coming together, it has held its own, and I see you young people coming on board to create an even bigger movement and moving it on into a new era. Well, I would like people to look at what young people are aspiring to do and either come on board giving them some advice and helping open a new pathway for their ideas, suggestions, and deciding where we are moving forward to.